kickoff, and don't we have a meat of a match for you? It's Endpoint versus Ukraine, arguably the best team in the world in the tournament right now, versus probably the worst team in the tournament right now. My name is Switchblade Jay. Joining for this one is Hawker, and this is a very, very close match because we think if we got the rules correctly, then Ukraine are through to the playoffs either way. But Endpoint, if they win this, they have an opportunity because right now they are sitting pretty on 2-1 in terms of the loss-win record. And if they get this 2-2, then they should be able to push Noreg off the bottom of the table. So a very, very crucial match for the UK boys. I'm not going to predict them to win, but I'm going to predict them to win because I'm a bit of a British boy myself. But Alex, what are your thoughts on this particular meme about to take place in front of us right now?
I mean, I have my notes prepared, you know, expecting Ukraine to win, but I think at this point the notes go out the window. Let's be honest. Ukraine, we think are through, so if they are, that could be a chance. It's also Nuke. This is a massive curveball. Endpoint really don't play this map that often. They played it like once in the last 6 months. Maybe they're just playing it because they think Ukraine will be equally bad on it. I don't know. Or maybe they have it in their back pocket. Who even knows? But we're going to be heading into Nuke. And let's see if Endpoint have something special up their sleeves here for this map. Because if they do, they could make it through to the main stage of the WESG finals. And
out to the global finals as well. Excuse me. Just to preface this match as well, by the way, I did say on Twitter that if Endpoint pull this upset, I will play the national anthem live on stream. So get ready for the meme. If it happens, it's Ukraine versus Team Endpoint. Endpoint on the CT side of Nuke, and Ukraine setting things up very, very quickly. Weber shuts down the first enemy coming on through out towards the top of Bondic, and able they shut down 3 players between them and Markelov. Weber still getting 3 kills though, and he's still kicking alive. An ace clutch for him, a P2K in his hand, but he just can't seem to finish the job. Bondic with a 2K, Ukraine with the pistol on the T side.
Again, Weber has been in such good form, but it's just not enough on the A site hold. And this is always the issue for Endpoint. Ukraine have got a hell of a lot of firepower on this team. Despite Weber's best efforts, Ukraine just overwhelmed the A site so quickly. And to be honest, they might not even need tactics if they continue to play that aggressively. We are going to see Endpoint go for a fair bit of investment. Okay. Bondic just got stabbed in the back. That's not the best start, especially as he has one of the AKs. But as I was saying, Weber's decided to save. He's got $2,000 thanks to those kills earlier. I'll be interested to see if Bondic actually gets in trouble, being down to 40 HP early on as the push comes in towards outside. That's always something to watch for, as it looks like they will try and make their way down, but Simple already will shut down Alex with that MP7 to start the round.
Great start once again from Ukraine. Should be relatively predictable to see them get up to the advantage right here. Mighty Max also held back in Vents. Trying to see if we can make anything work here. Might challenge on the Simple. Maybe not quite. CZ and Bondic with the AK will take down one more player. There's Endpoint getting picked apart little bit by little bit. Simple with one more frag onto Stanley in the B site. So it's just Weber and Mighty Max as the last 2 left alive here. Weber will catch off Simple. And yeah, Mighty Max comes in from the back, takes his head off his shoulders, but the bomb is still to rotate here into A. Mighty Max will be the first responder, but Weber's already gone down. That's a 2-0 to Ukraine. Very nice and predictable start here from the Ukrainian boys, but still, Endpoint just letting these conversions go. Again, just a case of saving. Weber can get the AWP out in the next round, so they'll have a very, very good rifle buy when it comes to round number 4.
Yeah, Weber goes for the 1 HE grenade. I think I'd probably just prefer a flashbang if you're going to go for just 1 nade. Or just get, you know, more nades. A couple of HE grenades can be very useful, but just having 1 HE shouldn't really do too much. We are going to see the smokes come in towards outside. And Weber is here with that HE, so as he throws this out, could do some damage. Bondic going in first, just takes a tiny bit, and already the AK is going to come out. There we go, complete shutouts. As Bondic picks up 3 kills in a matter of seconds. And so Ukraine will indeed go 3-0 up. But of course, Endpoint can put this past them and go for the buy now. But surprisingly enough, Weber not going for the AWP. Imi buys it up instead. That's a really weird decision, considering Weber had so much cash.
Does get a full set of utility out alongside that M4 though, so that's always something that can be worked with for the Endpoint side. But they get the AWP out anyway on Imi. Has proven to be relatively good with it over the course of the day. Weber also being just as good as well. So we'll see how they're able to play out the first gun round. It's already going to be a lot of aggression from outside of Weber out towards Secret. And Just early trades, early tags coming on through, just trying to see if they can find anything that they can. Two players kiss each other inside. It's Alex to get the first on Zeus. Weber shuts down Bondik as well as they make their way to Secret. He looks for his second, drops the bomb. Simple goes falling. And it's all Markelov left to try and pick up the pieces, but the damage has been done. Backstab incoming from Alex, and Endpoint will get the first on their CT side.
Again, it's Weber. He's been in such good form. He gets the triple kill to completely lock down the push. And Weber might just be living up to the CS Source days with if he continues to play like this, rather, because again, he's looked good all day, even when he's had that AWP, especially. He's looked really, really capable. Of course, Ukraine still have the buy, and with Simple on an AWP, you certainly can't assume that Endpoint will be having things that easy here, because there's still AKs, there's still plenty of nades, and Simple, of course, as I was just saying, can always be explosive with that AWP. He's currently up towards outside, and you can see Endpoint, of course, the CT side of Nuke is somewhat strange in terms of the fact you do kind of just have to give up outside control, unless you maybe have someone in towards Secrets. I think it plays almost differently to any other map because of that, because it's so difficult to hold on to that position, even if you have an AWP in towards that spot. And we are going to see Imi with an AWP here come up towards Secret. He might just get the timing. There is the first kill. Edward gets caught out in the open, and yet again, Endpoint get themselves a man advantage early into a gun round.
Zeus also tends to peek in from Squeaky. Ukraine trying to look for any way back into this one. A massive hole in the door. Alex will be the man to hold it down. They have got outside control, though Ukraine will concede Edward to the opening frag. It is just Endpoint holding back, passive and waiting. 60 seconds left on the clock as they challenge towards outside. I think Weber was outside on top of Heaven, trying to see if they can find anything in this case. Just damage being done, nothing really coming on through for anybody at the moment, so time's ticking away. Eventually, Ukraine do need to decide where they're going to go. They could go towards the A side, and actually it looks like they might just be going for that. Markelov is here, and he's trying to make his way in from Heaven. If he can take down Weber, that's a crucial pickup for Endpoint, but Weber's expecting this. Look at him. He's ready to peek on through, and Markelov peeks around Weber with a good frag. No! The timing's perfect, but he sees the flashbang eventually. Meanwhile, Alex shuts down Zeus. Weber comes through with one more. The AWP is Simple. Picks off Alex at close range, but he gets outfragged by Mighty Max. Bondik from Hell does spot Weber, but he can't finish the job. That's Weber taking two very crucial rounds, two very high impact rounds for Team Endpoint.
Yeah, I think a couple of things worth pointing out here. Firstly, Imi said on Twitter he wants to get that AWP more often. Those CT side resets where your economy gets messed up can always be an issue. So Imi does get the AWP early on, and he will keep onto it after they win a second round. But more importantly, I think the fact that Ukraine here, especially as sort of a mixed team, it could be very difficult to play on the T side of Nuke. We've seen the smokes towards outside. It's good to see they don't nose, but that's still very tricky to actually know exactly where to play on the T side itself. And so Ukraine could be in some trouble here. They've gone for the AKs. There's not really the smokes yet deployed. Now they will come down. And again, Imi will be blocked off by those smokes. So Ukraine will get down in towards Secret. Imi attempts to rattle off a couple of shots. He won't get connecting any of them. In fact, Weber, though, sprays through the smoke himself to open up towards outside. And time after time, Endpoint are managing to find the opening kill towards outside, even if it was a little bit lucky through the smoke in this round.
And Alex also spraying through smoke of his own accord. I think he's put a small angle on Edward, and he can't quite line this one up alongside the crossfire is Simple. They will gain control to the halls of the lower site. Weber's still here, though. Rotated back through ramp room and expecting players to run through this particular position. They've got some tag damage already. They know this. They've got Bondik down on 5 HP, Edward on 52. I'm not sure they know the specifics, but they must know that the Angel taken by Alex must have put some damage on the board. As Ukraine make their way through, it's Bondik to take down Weber. Not a very good start at all for the Endpoint defensive. And Ukraine start to break the angle. Stanley will peek up. He does get shut down. Mighty Max is still up towards the A site. And he's going to go peeking on through to the bomb site. Good grenade. Doesn't quite get Simple. And the flick on the AWP can't quite land on the second face with his teammate in Mighty Max also falling. It looks like it's going to be a save here. Never mind that. Zeus comes in from the back lines and takes him out at Hell. It's going to be 4-2 to the favor of Ukraine.
Yeah, I think that round could go so differently if Weber just gets that kill on towards Bondik. Bondik was 5 HP there at the start of the engagement, and Weber just whiffed a couple of shots, and that really ended up costing them. Even though Alex, or sorry, I think it was Stanley maybe who found the trade back. It was one of the Endpoint players that did eventually take down Bondik, but it just gave up too much of the B bomb sites. And so now Endpoint will be back again with a bye, thanks to those 2-round wins previously. This is a fairly important round for both sides. No one really has the money built up. And Imi this time is going to try and play more sort of aggressively towards outside, and with the boost coming up, Simple could be exposed. But Imi decides to play things safe instead, trying to watch towards Silo. However, you can see Edward has a smoke deployed for himself. It's looking fairly good here as Markolov sprays through. I believe that was in towards Squeaky to get that opening pick. And in the meantime, Simple still trying to work something towards outside, but that wallbang will not be successful. So instead, it's just the opening frag for Markolov to start the round, and still not really any signs of a fight from Endpoint except from Stanley pushing in towards Radio Room. Could be called Trophy Room now, but he goes down. He needed to win that fight, and now Zeus gives his team a man advantage. Oh, sorry, a two-man advantage. I don't think Endpoint can come back from this position.
3 versus 5, and he will still try getting sprayed for the smoke, trying to look for Zeus, but his reaction time is a little bit poor. Looking at Bondnik, eventually does drop the bomb, looking in for Zeus next man. AWP takes the second, so maybe you may be wrong. Up to Markolov now to try and recover the situation. AK versus AWP. Mighty Max will meanwhile fall, and eventually Simple will come in and support, so it's all just down to Weber. 1 versus 3, doesn't know where this bomb is going. And neither do Ukraine know where he is. He'll make his way up through the vents and will get spotted out, shut down by the hands of Edward. That's a 5th round on the board for Ukraine.
Yeah, and as we were saying, more importantly, that was a critical round in deciding which way the money was going to go at the early stages here. And it might just allow Ukraine to build up an even stronger lead on their T side. They're already 5-2 up, and we can already see Endpoint being forced back down to pistols. And it seems like, to be honest, it's just a team effort from Ukraine. Of course, this team does have a lot of talent. I think Bondik's a really good player as well. I was surprised to see him sort of fall through the cracks and go over to Tai Lu, but he's been providing so far early on, as well as, of course, Simple with that AWP. We are going to see Endpoint themselves, of course, with very little investment, try to stack in towards more the B site by the looks of things. There are certainly a couple of players out A, though. Mighty Max has gone aggressive in towards lobby, but in the meantime, Bondik and Zeus find those opening frags. Mighty Max might get the chance back, but Zeus expects it. Easy kills for him as he mops up the rounds and makes sure that Endpoint won't really have any chance to even do damage here with only Stanley and Alex left.
Yeah, they're going to hear these footsteps, so they know exactly where they are. Down lower in the B site. They will try and make their way up. Stanley trying to look for Edward, but he can't quite do it. Alex also with a good ding. Can he get this kill? Not quite. Doesn't seem like they will be able to find it in this case, and Alex just left to try and save at this point in time. The bomb will get planted. It will be a 6th on the board for Team Ukraine, and they go together. Nah, not going to happen. Not in a million years will be able to get that shot on Zeus, and the AK is just doing their damage in this case. 6-2 to the favor of Ukraine. Endpoint, however, have the 3 rounds of lost bonus, so they will be able to get themselves a full rifle buy. AWP won't be available for them, and they'll still have a FAMAS on Mighty Max, so not the most defined buy that you would expect, but still 5 rifles and still something that they can use against Ukraine, who also don't have the best buy in the world either. They're still putting Edward on this UMP, just keeping that value as much as they can. Of course, the AK's the AWP coming out. Other than that, they're setting things up for an outside control push. And Endpoint, once again, in their default, trying to find the advantage above Ukraine at the moment.
Yet again, the very same smokes towards outside. That's something you're going to see very, very often on the T side of things. It's just so simple and so easy to go for those smokes time after time, gain a lot of map control early on. Is Alex still with us? He's not moving whatsoever. I don't know if that's going to be an issue, but the rest of Endpoint seem to be carrying on. Yeah, Alex is not moving at all, so I don't know what's happened there, but the rest of Endpoint seem to just be willing to continue to play out the rounds. So we're just going to have to deal with it, I suppose. Alex, I think, is not with us right now. I don't really know what's going on, Jamie.
Don't think they can call a stop because Zeus has already been tagged up to 88 HP, so that's a bit unfortunate for Endpoint. That's just adding worse to the wear for the current setup of this CT side. Eventually, Bondik will start to peek up spot Alex.
Oh.
Alex comes alive at the perfect point. Holy hell. Welcome back, mate. Can you find Bondik? That is the question. Stanley's challenging. He's actually going to get aggressive towards ramp and get himself a 3K, dropping the bomb. Alex still looking for Bondik, but Simple is here towards ramp room, and he can't quite find this player. It looks like Endpoint with a very, very close call. Simple getting rid of the AWP to ensure they cannot get their hands on it. Will try and look for Stanley, but Stanley locks out the 4K. And welcome back, Endpoint. 5 players staying alive in this case. We'll see if Bondik can pick off anybody towards the outside. Weber will be challenging him here. And a 15-second timer for him to try and stay alive. We'll actually spot him out towards the back. Ooh, does he know this? Oh, he's going to see it. Bondik, what are you doing? Will he find it eventually? Logs out the headshot. But either way, it will still be a third round on the board for Team Endpoint as they finally find a very solid start to this CT side.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize that there's a very slight pixel gap over in towards that position, so Alex can spot out the man and then just deploy the smoke to play safe. So I think that's what he was going for. It's just somewhat strange. You don't really see it too often to be holding like that because there is always the risk you could be spotted out, you could take some damage before you can deploy the smoke. But either way, it was, of course, Bondik at the end of the round there to make at least the one kill happen for Ukraine, but that's all they will get. And so yet again, here we go. Ukraine going to line up the smokes towards outside. We have seen Imi be willing to switch up his position, sometimes holding in towards Heaven, sometimes holding in towards Secret to try and shut down that push. But this time, Ukraine will not be moving in towards outside. Instead, you can already see a couple of players in towards Radio Room, otherwise known as Trophy Room now, I guess, because it's been replaced with those trophies into that position. Ukraine, by the looks of things, are going to try and switch things up again, just going for a fast push up towards the A site, but the counter flashes are going to slow them down before the push.
Max gets one here, but gets a quick trade on Stanley, and Alex will end up falling. Max is still here and fragging, but he can't quite close it out on Bondik. They look through the smoke for Weber, but he stays alive, barely picking up one, and the AK to work with Imi with the AWP. Also out towards main, trying to see if he can find Simple, but can't quite lock out the angle. The timing is just not right for him, and Weber's still working up towards the outside. He will get caught off guard by Edward, and the quick scope won't come through from Imi. That's 7-3 to the favor of Team Ukraine, as Endpoint will be reset so far. This is not the CT side that we were hoping to see out of these boys. It's not a very good day right now for Britain.
And again, it's the resets costing Endpoint. They can win one round every now and then, but it just doesn't seem consistent for them. They try and get it done with the AWP of Imi again, but it just doesn't really come through. And we've already seen Endpoint on their CT side fairly often fall sort of prey to these resets, if you like, where they don't really have the buy for 2 rounds in a row, and all of a sudden they fall very, very far behind indeed. I mean, to be fair, this is against Team Ukraine, remember, of course, a very talented lineup, so you can certainly understand why, but with so much on the line, Endpoint are going to need to up their game. We are going to see the push come in towards outside again, Bondik making his way forwards. There are a couple of players waiting around here on the Endpoint side of things, but it doesn't seem like they're going to go for too much of a push. They're just holding in towards Secret and trying to see if anyone strays too far, which with the pistols up close, not such a bad idea, especially as Imi only has the USP and it's the other player, Weber, who was rating around the corner with the CZ. I like the idea, but now Weber's just going to rotate off because it seems like Endpoint might realize it could be a push towards the A site, but Ukraine themselves not really committing just yet. They've got all the way in towards Heaven, and there goes Simple. He does open up in towards Secret. And in the meantime, the rest of the players in towards Heaven could just make this happen. There's just so much map control now for Ukraine.
Not going to come through here for Endpoint. No armor, this is an eco. We should be seeing 8 on the board for the T side. Weber and Alex just held back towards a small corner in the B site. Actually, can you survive if the bomb goes off on the A site if you're on B site? I can't actually remember. I've never actually given this much thought, but either way, bomb will go down. Weber and Alex are going to try and save right here. Alex, or Weber gets taken back by Zeus, so once again, not a great form in this particular game. Endpoint leaving it all on Alex to try and see if he can save a CZ. Not much that is really going to carry into the next round, but at the end of the day, what can you really do when you're up against 4 rifles from 4 extremely good players? Are you able to hear Simple? Yeah, he's going to hear that. Peek out. Nah, Simple gets the headshot. 8-3. Favor to the T side. And Endpoint, well, I mean, if we were going to look for any win conditions for Endpoint, we were really hoping that they'll be able to get a strong CT start, but this has been a bit of a disappointment so far from the Brits. So, AWP, M4s, UMP and FAMAS out for the CTs. Ukraine have the AKs as well to be in play, and their economy has been kind of getting out of control. $9,000, $3,000, $7,000, quite the economy set here for Ukraine. As we go back into the Endpoint default, they need a round pretty desperately. This would be one to find it if they could. Already look at the fast play coming in from Ukraine. Sprays come out. Alex looking for Zeus, but he can't quite find it. Bondik and Simple, they trade right back.
Yeah, the A site just gets overwhelmed so quickly with a couple of flashes over the top. Stanley falls into the open, but he gets denied the blood. Bondik there committed to the bomb and ends up going down because of it. And now we've got a 2-on-2 that becomes very, very winnable. Imi's in towards Heaven and the bomb is dropped towards the site. Imi could lock this down. Trying to find the angle. He doesn't know where the players are positioned. And in the meantime, Weber is somewhat close in towards Mini. but he's not all that close in towards the action, so it's going to have to be Imi to do a lot of the work here. Nice pop flash to try and get it to happen, but the molly will force him back. That might just allow the bomb to be picked up. You can see Imi still being forced back by the flames, as is Weber. Very good use of utility from Ukraine, but they still haven't recovered the bomb here. And with 50 seconds left, they're going to have to do so somewhat soon. As Weber does finally spot up the first man, Imi decides to rotate back around, so they're going to concede the bomb plants. But still a 2-on-2 could be doable, and oh, Edwards finds that kill all the way over from heaven, catching him off guard, and Imi himself could be in trouble. Edward holding towards rafters, slowly peeking. Imi taking more damage. He needs to run down to 5 HP. He tries to peek out, but Edward says no, getting a triple to close it for Ukraine.
That's unfortunate, because if Imi was able to hold down that heaven area, then maybe they would have been able to hold an opportunity back for you, hold an opportunity to maybe pick things together if Weber was holding out towards main. But no, they both go to the same positions. As a result, Ukraine take control of that position, and then they shut down the one player, and it leaves it all on Imi with the AWP 1v2 retake. Not going to happen. It's just not going to happen today. Endpoint, 6 rounds behind Ukraine. 3 rounds of loss bonus means they go for a quasi. CZ's out, a couple of P250s to play with, but already you can see exactly what the game plan of Ukraine is right now. Zeus in with the first Stanley, trying to get as much as he can, but Zeus just playing entry, farming up the cash and leaving it up to, well, only Weber really to try and see if he can do anything right here. Could get a headshot on Zeus, indeed he does. Alongside his teammate Stanley actually might be able to do a little bit more damage, but yeah, Imi next up goes falling. Alex also last, and it's 10-3 to the favor of Ukraine.
Yeah, and again, it's really just the money issues for Endpoint that continue to sort of compound this lead. The gun rounds, for the most part, have been fairly close, but they've never really been able to consistently get too many together. So now Endpoint will, at the very least, have a buy back again. Imi goes for the AWP, but without the Kevlar, it's going to be difficult for him. And we've already seen Imi struggle so far with that AWP. You kind of have seen him try to hold off towards outside. A couple of times he's been able to find the kill, but he's only on 3 frags so far. And when you're investing so much into that AWP, you're going to need a bit more production out of him. So let's see if Weber can hold down outside this time. He's gone in towards Secret, and he nearly goes down in the meantime. It's Zeus with the AWP. He had a good spawn for Squeaky, I believe, so he goes for that opening, and Alex does go down, as does Imi. They're just getting picked apart one by one on the Endpoint side here.
Weber, look at his position. Simple's right across the way. Meanwhile, other players from Endpoint are getting picked off. Can Weber find Simple at least bring something to the favor of the CT side? Stanley also getting aggressive, does catch off Zeus out towards the T side of the map, but that's still just one frag out of many that need to be found by Team Endpoint. Bondic will lock down Stanley, lock out the second on Simple. Weber goes falling, 11-3. Endpoint, well, not a good CT side. Not a good CT side at all here. 2 rounds in connection after the pistol conversions went to the favor of the Ukraine side. After that one more rifle round, and from there, it's just nothing being shown here for Endpoint. It will be a force buyback. Rifles out from Arses, 2 UMPs. And Endpoint now verging on the edge of defeat, going into the closing of the first half. Let's see if maybe they can do anything. Simple's got the SSG, and he's already going to find the first Imi, first man to fall.
Yeah, gotta love the SG. Just finding a kill through the smoke, of course. I think on Nuke as well, like it's certainly viable to play that towards outside if you want to try and get some headshots early on. He's going to try and do just that as Simple creeps his way forward, spots out the man. Oh, Alex does get taken down. Another headshot for Simple, whipping out the Krieg and finding success with it. In the meantime, Stanley loses another fight. So much damage done, but Simple and Zeus both survive on a slither of health to continue to extend the lead for Ukraine. And Weber and Mighty Max just have so much to do at this point. It looks like this round should be done, although Weber did get the 1 kill back towards ramp as Zeus sticks around for a bit too long. A little bit of overconfidence, but elsewhere, Bondic finds another frag, and Weber has to ace to win the round for Endpoint.
Unfortunate on the timing for Mighty Max. He was expecting somebody to come through that vent, but he just looked away at the wrong point. And that means he will get taken out, leave up to Weber, as you say, to ace the situation. He won't even be able to get Edward, as Ukraine take a 12-3 half on their T side. I'm disappointed, I'm not going to lie. I was pretty hyped to see Endpoint maybe take the upset, but clearly that's not going to be the case right now. They do have a T side to work with, and I'm just trying to go through all the possibilities in my head of what could happen, how they could potentially find their way onto a decent T-side on Nuke. But the truth is that Endpoint, they don't really play Nuke very often. They have a good win rate on Nuke, sure, but it's like they don't practice it very often. They don't really, they haven't really posted very good results on Nuke. And in general, they're just a CT-sided team when it comes to Nuke as a whole. So I just don't know, man. I just don't think it's possible. And it sucks as well because I'm quite disappointed because I'm a British guy. I'm patriotic. I really wanted to see Endpoint win. I had, the anthem ready to go and everything if they managed to take it. But it comes up to a pistol at this point. And if Ukraine win this one, it's going to be lights out for Britain in the WESG EU LAN.
Yeah, I think it's certainly fair to say Endpoint had a fair few chances earlier as well. If they could have closed out that big lead they had over Noreg, that would have been a great way to just take that early win and give themselves the best possible shot. Then they had the chance against Godsend, ending 16-14. If they won there, they would have had the chance. But so many close games going against them, and now they're just going to try and rush out ramp to make it happen. The Glock train is going to go straight to the B site, and Bondit could be in trouble. They will have heard the doors being opened. Bondit should be overwhelmed. Imi, though, misses the spray. There comes Stanley in from behind, though, to make sure it's an even trade. So back to a 4-on-4, and there goes Alex finding another frag there. So all of a sudden, Endpoint might keep themselves in contention as Alex continues to work in vents, but he's just going to play things safe and allow the rest of his teammates to find their kills. Stanley pushes out, and here we go. Endpoint should take the pistol unless Zeus has anything to say about it, but he goes down. Simple 1-on-2. This is scary. He's already got the 2 headshots. Trying to make his way back. No real kit just yet. And there we go. Alex closes him out from behind to give Endpoint at least some slither of hope to come back.
Last gasp. Need to take it and turn it into a breath of fire right now for Endpoint. Pistol round to their favor. Ukraine obviously can't get a bomb plant, so there'll be no chance for an early buy. Upgraded pistols coming out. CZ's, Deagles. Simple going for a Deagle himself. Okay, that was probably dropped. That was the one dropped by Markov, but yes, 12-4 is the scoreline at present here to the favor of Ukraine. Endpoint are looking for a connection, and they can't really afford to lose any of these conversions because that's going to be conversions right back to the favor of Ukraine. And in the current predicament and how this game is going, it will get scary. It will get remarkably scary for Endpoint now. Ukraine taking pretty standard positions. They have got Bondic out towards the secret area. Simple also getting peeked on and getting shut down. Weber, meanwhile, also out fall to the hands of Zeus. So not like this, boys. Just quick peek coming in from main C's. Knows exactly where he is. The 4-on-4 situation does ensue now.
Alex elsewhere does find a frag, but again, Bondic gets one back out towards outside. The CZ finding some success, and Mighty Max needs this one, but Edward takes him down. This becomes scary unless Imi can find this trade, but he's not successful. Looking for the second man, they do push towards him, but Imi plays things safe. If he lost the bomb there, the round could have been over. So it's good to see he is aware of that and falls back. But Zeus is still here towards outside. He's going to be spotted and overwhelmed by Alex. So it goes back to a 2-on-2, but Bondic is pushed up here. This could be everything. He's going to go peeking. The bomb is dropped. Oh boy, it's all up to Alex. He needs to get his gun out. Finally does, but it's still a 1-on-2. Alex jumping down, spots Edward, but not going to connect the kill. And he still needs to find something with 25 seconds left. There's a smoke up. Alex running through the smoke, switches back around. Edward still trying to dance around the site, just playing things safe, playing for time. Edward still staying alive. And Alex now is going to get caught. There's the flick back. But he still needs one more. Alex pushing through, needs this frag. And there it is. Bondic closes it out with a triple. And Endpoint might have just thrown away the one chance they had.
Just timing and hesitation. Alex spotted out the low HP player in from hot. I just couldn't get the kill. Try as he might, couldn't get the wall banger, couldn't get the clean shot. And then that just fell apart for him. Eventually, he got taken down in the end by Bondic, who gets himself an AK as a little bit of a souvenir. And Endpoint are forced up to a force buy right now, trying to play to the outside, trying to find anything they can right now. Crossing their way successfully with the smokes on towards Secret, so that might be a good chance right now, but you can imagine that Ukraine are starting to set things up, and indeed Simple is right here to line up the spray. He does get one, but not getting the trade on with the second. Zeus next up the challenge, and indeed he takes himself to Edward with a buckshot, and it leaves it all on Weber, a 1v4. To retake the bomb, to retake the round, it's just not going to happen. This is looking like 14 to the favour of Team Ukraine.
Yeah, Yeah, smoke's up, flash deployed. Weber not got too much to do here. If he can maybe find one kill and just hope that Ukraine makes some mistakes, there's a chance. And here comes Zeus. No need to push, but he decides to. And there we go. Bondit comes in from behind. I was going to say the one way they could lose that is just pushing him one by one. And it looked like they were about to do that. However, Bondit cleans up the kill. The 14-4 now. You can see Endpoint at this point. They pretty much just have to force every round. I don't blame them. They need to just hope for a miracle round win because obviously they need to win as many rounds in a row. This gives them the best chance of trying the comeback. However, it's still very slim because this round is the first one they're going to have to do it on. And just CZs and the Desert Eagle. We saw the push towards outside previously. And this time Ukraine have a couple of players here. So as the smokes come in, the nades could shut this out. Here come the nades. A lot of damage done towards Imi. Simple sitting in the smoke. Here we go. Oh, it's Markelov who comes in. Double spray down from him. And I thought Simple was going to make the difference, but now he will pounce. Oh,
no, no!
Oh my god, it's maximum VM. And I think that pretty much just sums up this game.
I've got no more words, dude. I can't. Just a moment of silence for the UK.
UKCS.
I just... Jesus Christ. Right, 15-4. Last chance buy for Endpoint now. UMP, Deagle, 3 CZs. Let's see what they can do. Zeus, of course, with the AUG. Already looking if it's spots him. That's just not even the way you want to start it. Edward also getting aggressive. Ukraine realised that they may have just won this. Alex does come up with one more pick, so that's at least a gun recovered for the T side. And Weber does get a good shot on Zeus, so maybe there might be some sort of movement here, but backstabbing coming from Bondic. Endpoint doesn't even realise this. Actually, Alex does take him down, so maybe there might still be a chance yet. Simple looking for Imi, does take him out. Markelov is also there alongside him. So Bomb will gain access to the site and go down at the hands of Mighty Max. So Markelov making his way towards outside, Simple making his way in from ramp room, and he's going out towards the B site. I think they've actually misread this, Ukraine. This could be a little bit more time that Team Endpoint could use to buy their way back into the matchup. Look at the HP on Simple and Markelov. Are they going to consider saving this? I think they're going to consider saving this well. Maybe we're not out of the woods just yet, but Endpoint, this will be the first round out of 11 they need to come back into this one with. Looking like a 5th round for the T side. So the last chance gasp once again goes to 15-5 to the favour of Ukraine.
Yep, we will see the rifle saved. Weber doesn't even get to save one. He's just stuck with the Deeg, which is never the nicest feeling, especially when Ukraine have plenty of cash to invest fully here. Simple has the AWP. Rifles across the entirety of the team. And Endpoint themselves, they should pretty much have a full buy, except for Imi, but he's been struggling anyway, so I'm sure they won't be too bothered about that. It's mainly just going to be down to trying to really win a couple of rounds in a row here. If they can break the Ukraine economy with this round win, that could help them win a few more rounds. That would certainly be beneficial, and we will see again the smokes go in towards outside. Markelov is the man holding here. Oh, the Molotov there denied the smoke. That's really smart from Markelov. There's a big gap in the left side of the smoke now. So Ukraine could try and hold this off, but Endpoint will still go for the push down. And oh, Markelov just on the other side. Simple himself is trying to hold. And there we go, up towards rafters. He gets the first pick with that AWP.
Tried to look towards the gap, but now Markelov, he's tramming in towards outside. 2 kills for him. Weber and Imi down. Leaves on Alex and Mighty Max. Never mind, just make it Alex 1v5. And Endpoint in the final round of the match will not do a single point of damage to Team Ukraine. The UK's hopes have been dashed, and there is now no further chance for them to take their spot in the playoffs. It goes to Ukraine, it goes to Goldset, and it goes to Noreg. Endpoint bow out the competition as heroes.